Shaheen Mazloom spent $250,000 on business courses, but learned more from hosting 100 podcast episodes than all that training combined. Now his inbox floods daily with guest requests, and he turns interviewees into paying clients and referral partners, and his show ranks as a top 200 on Apple, all without spending a dollar on marketing. In this episode of Podcasting Secrets, Shaheen reveals why starting with guests he'd already paid to learn from unlocked instant credibility, how he transforms every episode into 3 social clips that tag collaborators for exponential reach, and the relentless mindset that keeps 88% of podcasts from reaching episode 12. If you're overthinking your launch or spending on ads before building relationships, this rewrites the playbook.
Welcome to the Podcasting Secrets Show, where successful creators share their best stories, secrets, and strategies. I'm your host, Nathan Gwilliam.
Hello, incredible creators, and welcome to this episode of the Podcasting Secrets Show. Today, I'm joined by Shaheen Mazloom. Shaheen is the founder and CEO of Versa Business Solutions, which is a highly trusted business funding and financial systems firm. Under his leadership, the company has funded more than 1,000 businesses and facilitated more than $1 billion in capital. He's recognized as a rising force in entrepreneurship and was named a top entrepreneur to watch by Finance Magazine, where he appeared along industry icons like Damon John, Grant Cardone, and Sir Richard Branson. He's also a best-selling author. He's earned the #1 new release distinction for his book, The 5 Secrets to Getting the Best Deal on a Business Loan. And in addition to that, he operates the Versa Business Tips podcast and YouTube channel, where he breaks down hard-won insights on financing, negotiation, scaling, and founder psychology. Thanks so much for being with us today, Shaheen.
Thank you for having me. Wow, what an intro, man.
Was most of it true?
It's all true, man. It's funny. Like I think about these things, and it's been like over the last, 30 years, right? I've had the business for 8, but you know how it is, everything that you do in your life leads you to, to those things. So it's nice to hear it sometimes and remind yourself, like you've come a long way, you've done some things.
Yeah, you're a pretty big deal.
Appreciate it, brother.
Shaheen, can you start off by sharing with us something that most people don't know about you?
Yeah, man. Most people don't know that I was actually born and raised on a cattle farm in England, of all places.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I lost my accent when I was 7 years old, is when I moved to America, because the kids made fun of me. I was picked on really heavily, and I wanted nothing more than to move back to England. So I developed this American accent, and it's just kind of stuck. But if I were to call my mother right now, full-blown British accent, and I have no control over it. It's crazy.
Can you tell us more about your business? What do you do? What is the big problem that you're solving, and how do you solve it?
So when I started Versa Business Systems, our goal was to position ourselves as a business consulting firm. We wanted to solve a lot of different problems for businesses, but we knew we had to start with something. Right. So starting out, we thought it would be a great idea to start with mobile apps. That didn't go so well. We were pitching mobile apps with credit card processing, and 8 years ago, and even now, like a lot of small businesses don't utilize mobile apps still. It just never really took off. Right. Like your big companies like Pizza Hut and McDonald's and Kohl's and, all these major companies have apps, but, your mom and pop shops really don't. So within 30 days, when I almost ran out of money, I decided, well, let's focus on something else that every business needs, and that's capital. Right. So at the time, I had only sold a few loans over the course of my career in sales. And so I went home that weekend and I learned everything I could about business funding. And I found out there was a lot of holes and a lot of problems in the industry. The mafia kept coming up, right? I'm like, what is this? Like the mafia is involved in business funding? And to come to find out there's like 30 companies that are literally ran by the mob. And up until recently, they were able to. I think it was like, I don't know, 6 months ago. Finally, they locked up some of those guys and shut some of those companies down. But the business funding industry was wild from what I found out. And so I wanted to build something that was completely different, that was just focused on helping business owners get the capital they need, but at the best rate and terms possible. Whereas most companies lead with trying to make as much money as they can,
Yeah.
right? Like they'll give anybody the money if they can get approved and they'll take it, they'll give them the money. But I didn't want to operate that way. Sometimes as business owners, we don't always know what's best, right? We think we need money, and that may not actually be the solution to our problem, right? So we dive in and we ask a lot of questions, and we really get to know them and their goals and what they're looking to do. And if it comes down to it that funding isn't their best solution, we're going to be honest and we're going to tell them, look, hey, I don't think funding right now is the best solution. Maybe this would be better for now, and then we can get you some capital to help with, whatever in the future. But, we offer our business consulting at no cost. I've been around businesses since I was in diapers. I started my first business when I was 7 years old. So I've seen it all and done it all. And, it's been a wild ride, man.
I love it. What is the secret sauce for all of this success you've achieved?
Dude, honestly, it's focusing on helping people first. When we first moved to America, America's huge compared to England, right? England's the size of Delaware. So when we moved to America, my parents were obsessed with seeing the whole country. So we went on these long road trips, right? And I remember one time we were on a road trip, and my dad's always had an entrepreneur spirit, but he had kids at a young age, got married at a young age, and just never took that leap, right? He was more focused on a salary, supporting his family. By all means, don't knock him for it, right? He got to a point where he was making $200,000-$300,000 a year in his field. But we were having a conversation of, if we started a family business, what would we start, right? And my dad asked a question, well, what could we do that can help people and you can make money at the same time? And when you're a kid, you think of helping people of like, clothing the homeless and feeding people that are hungry and, things like that, right?
Yep.
You don't think of like, helping businesses get funding and helping businesses grow or, things like that. So, anyways, that conversation always stuck in my mind throughout my whole childhood and growing up. And, eventually I just decided, okay, business consulting is what I want to do. And so we lead with helping people, right? We don't lead with how much money can we make, or can we close this deal, or, what can we sell this person, right? It's, hey, how can we help you, put you in a better situation than when we first came into contact with you? And that's all we focus on. And that's all my sales reps focus on. And that's allowed us to last 8 years, have over 1,000 clients, and we've never had a bad review or complaint, right? They say you can't please everyone, but I've come to find out that that is not true. You can please everyone. If you just lead with honesty, integrity, and trying to help people, even if you make a mistake, if you fix it, you're not going to have a bad review. You're not going to have a complaint. If you're leading with compassion and care and actually trying to help someone, you're not going to end up getting a bad review no matter what, because at the end of the day, they know you did everything in your power to truly help them, right?
Yeah. I love that. That's a great philosophy. Huge, especially in today's modern world of credibility marketing, where so many people make their decisions based on ratings and reviews. That's definitely one that will pay huge dividends.
100%, man, dude. And it's so crazy. Like, people even ask me, they're like, well, there's these companies that you can pay to get stuff removed. Like, God's honest truth, we've never had to do that, right? Like, we have some bad reviews that are like from a guy like, oh, they called me 3 times and I didn't want them to call me, things like that. Like, if I was removing reviews, I would have removed something like that, but yeah, man, we pride ourselves in that. And so, when I go through hiring people, I do an extensive background, like see if they've personally ever got any bad reviews with past companies that they've worked with. Like, I don't want to ruin that. I don't want to get our first, or I don't ever want it to happen, because I don't think I think it's possible. You can go your whole career without a bad review. If you're leading with helping someone, you always tell the truth. It's like, how can you complain about that? Right.
Yeah.
Even if things don't go your way.
Yeah. Great philosophy. Can you tell us about your podcast and how your podcast has helped to grow your business?
Yeah. So the Versa Business Tips podcast is, I started it for content, right? I didn't have as much time as I would like to create more videos and put out more content. So I was like, okay, well, I can do podcast episodes and chop up the, the videos into reels and repurpose that as, content on social media. And it just kind of grew from there. The Versa Business Tips podcast is designed to help entrepreneurs, business owners, people that are aspiring to start a business, C-level executives learn whatever they want to learn about business. So we've had marketers on there. We've had, staffing companies. We've had AI developers. I mean, even health coaches. I mean, you name it. Anything to do with business or your body or just overall being a better person, motivation. I mean, you name it. If somebody went through our whole episode, they would get more information out of that than a master's degree at Harvard in business. And I'm a firm believer in that. Like, I've had some amazing conversations with some of the biggest business minds out there, multiple billionaires, a lot of people that have exited for multiple 9 figures, and I've learned more that has helped my company than anything else that I've ever done. I mean, I've probably invested about $250,000 into courses and coaching and things of that nature. And I've learned more from my guests that I've had on my podcast than all of that stuff combined. And so implementing the stuff that I've learned on my podcast into my own business has been the biggest monetary, thing for me. As far as making money with the podcast, we've gotten clients from it. We've done business with our guests from it. But that's as far as we've gotten as far as monetizing the show. We're in the top 200 on Apple, and our YouTube account is monetized, so we make a few $100 a month on that. But yeah, we haven't really gotten to the getting sponsors, and that's what we're getting ready to start using Pod Up for, to start plugging into all your guys' tools so we can really make this thing big.
I love it. Well, thanks for being willing to check out Pod Up, and thanks for sharing.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's great what you built.
What's one of the biggest challenges that you've faced in your podcasting journey, and how'd you get through that?
Yeah, so challenges in the beginning was getting guests, right? So I actually started out by reaching out to the people that I had spent a good amount of money with for coaching and training. So Paul Getter and Gary Cox. Gary Cox used to have a show with what's that big doctor? Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil. He had a show with Dr. Phil. I mean, the guy's super famous. Paul Getter, he's the internet marketing nerd. He's the one that Ty Lopez learned from. Probably not the best name drop right now, but but anyways, these two guys I learned a lot from, and I invested a lot of money into learning from these guys. So they were the first 2 people I asked to be on my podcast. Say, hey, I'm taking your advice. I'm starting a podcast. I'd love to have you on as a guest. And I had no followers, no subscribers, no views, no nothing. And they both agreed. And having those 2 people as my first 2 guests, having a big name and having a big following, it just kind of took off from there, really. I think it took maybe about a month or 2. I reached out to a lot of people to have them on the show. But then after a couple months, my inbox is flooded every day of people trying to get on the show. People referring people over, hey, you should have this person on your show or that person. It's every day. Yeah. So I get to decide who I want to speak with, who I want to learn from. And it's great, man. It really is. Yeah. But I started with the people that I've spent money to learn from, and they were more than happy to reciprocate and give me 30 minutes of their time to be on my podcast.
Today's episode of Podcasting Secrets is brought to you by Pod Allies, the done-for-you podcasting services solution. When I speak with CEOs about their podcast, one of the most common comments that I hear is that they know they need a podcast, but they don't have time. Have you ever wondered how some businesses find a way to still run their podcasts while juggling their crazy day-to-day operations? The secret might be simpler than you think. Let me introduce you to Pod Allies. This is a service that's changed the game for businesses in the podcasting world. Pod Allies is a done-for-you podcast production and marketing service. They understand that while many businesses understand the immense value podcasting can have for their business, finding time to produce, syndicate, promote, and monetize a show can be challenging. Pod Allies offers a dedicated team to handle virtually all aspects of your podcast production. From strategy and branding to audio and video editing and guest scheduling, they've got you covered. They even take care of creating blog posts, transcripts, and syndicating your content across multiple platforms. What sets Pod Allies apart is their use of PodUp, their proprietary podcasting software suite. This allows them to streamline the entire podcasting process, saving you time, effort, and a bunch of money. If you're ready to become a thought leader, connect with your audience, and grow your business through podcasting without all of the investment of time and cost of doing it yourself, Pod Allies might be the perfect solution for you. To learn more or to schedule a free consultation with a podcast expert, visit podallies.com. That's podallies.com. Now back to the show. Okay, so if you have great following like you have, and you're getting lots of people that are requesting to be guests on your show, one monetization strategy that I would highly recommend you check out is sponsored episodes.
Yeah.
So sponsored episodes is where, like, if you invite an expert on your show, like that's a book author or an influencer, you don't charge that person. But if you have people that are wanting on your show because they're wanting to promote their business or something, just charge them something, right? Come up with a fee, $500 an episode or something. And there's a lot of people making a lot of money from those sponsored episodes, and they can't do infomercials. They can't just go and promote their product the whole episode. They have to provide real value to your audience. But as long as they do that, that might be a really good next monetization stream for you to implement.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, realistically, I could probably do 5 podcasts a day with the amount of people in my inbox. Like, it's insane.
So if that's the case, you have a lot of people to market to, right? That are
Oh, for sure. I've got a huge list. and I'm adding to it every day.
Cool. What is your best strategy for growing and marketing a podcast?
So, to be honest, I haven't done any marketing. I've done no marketing on my podcast at all, other than like posts, right? So every podcast, I'll chop up 3 reels and I'll put them on every social media platform.
Yeah, that counts as marketing.
Right. So no paid marketing is what I mean. The days leading up to the show, I'll put out the reels to the to get people, excited. Some of the big aha moments within the show, and then and that's really it. From there, we put it on pretty much every. We use Buzzsprout to blast it out to all the different platforms that we're on. So it's really easy, a one-click punch, and it's on everywhere. And man, I think a lot of it is just got to be it's got to be word of mouth and people that I've had on the show utilizing their audiences. So I make sure to tag them on every platform that they're on when I post the reels and the episode.
That's a really good strategy. Yeah.
And
you probably put their names in your titles too.
Yeah, always, man. So, I mean, we've had some episodes that have had thousands of downloads. I think we've got a couple that have over 15, 20,000 views. So yeah, man, it's been good so far, but I think we could be doing so much better because there's so many amazing guests that we've had on, that are providing so much real value that people can implement into their business right away. Right. And most of our guests are giving away free stuff like books or courses or, it's just invaluable. If people went through and took advantage of all the free things of each episode, it'd probably be worth $200,000, really.
Yeah. Okay. So good point, giving value. Good point about focusing on good guests onto your show. If you did one more thing for marketing, if you had time, if you had money, is there one marketing strategy, the next marketing strategy you would like to implement?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about doing Facebook ads, but what I haven't seen is, Vibe,
Yep.
the TV commercials, like on the streaming apps.
Yep.
We just started rocking and rolling with that. We've done it for funding for the last month and a lot of views. And when people are streaming, they're streaming, a show or a documentary or what have you. I think it would do well for podcasts. So I'm gonna put out a TV commercial next week, and we're gonna try that on Vibe and
Interesting.
see what kind of response we get with that. Yeah.
I'd love to know how that works for you.
Yeah, I'm excited to see.
How are you targeting that? Where are you going to target the TV commercial?
So I mean, we're gonna target to our email list.
Okay.
So the nice thing about Vibe is we can send them our client list of all their emails, and they match them up, I guess, with their IP addresses or their account information, and they can actually target those people. And then we could also go in and target, C-level executives in these industries, in these areas, what have you. So we'll probably split test it and try both and see which one does better. But I'm sure there's a lot of clients that we do business with that might not have even seen the show or know that we have a podcast. It's not like something we talk about regularly with our clients, like, hey, check out the podcast. We probably should, because it could really add value to their business. But yeah.
Okay, Shaheen, how has your podcast helped you to monetize your business?
Yeah, so in a lot of different ways. So one, like I said, we utilize our guests' audiences as much as possible. So I always make sure to add them on all the different social media platforms. That way, when the reels are ready, I'm able to tag them in them, invite them as collaborators and things like that. And so most of the people that I have on the show have some sort of B2B company, right? They're selling to business owners already. So the people that are following them and that they're marketing to are all business owners. So we've turned a lot of those guests into affiliates, referral partners.
Yeah.
So they refer their clients over to us for their business funding needs or their credit card processing needs or what have you. But we've also turned a lot of the guests into clients. Once they realize what we do, and we're able to talk about that, I always try to set up a call with the person right after the show ends to see, how things went, see if there's any way that we can help each other out. Because like I said, most of the time, most of my guests are selling something to business owners as well. So we are also referring clients over to our guests' companies for the different things that they offer. So it's kind of a little give and take. And it's worked out really well so far. We've gotten a ton of business from it.
Is there a big mistake you've made on the show that you've learned from that you want to share with us?
Honestly, I think the biggest mistake that I've made is not taking it. I wouldn't say not taking it serious, but I think if we had, say, come across a platform like yours long time ago and actually started implementing some of these monetization tools and strategies into the show and really gotten some expert advice. Like, I've done no coaching. I haven't bought any coaching or training on podcasting at all. The only thing I know about podcasting is just from doing it, right? Like, I was on one podcast before I started my podcast. I'm like, oh, I can do that. And so, like, I regret that. I think that's the biggest mistake is, I haven't even watched any free podcast trainings on YouTube, like none of it. So I definitely regret that. And, it's time to, get a little bit more serious with it, because I think it could really turn into something big. Yeah.
Yeah. You've written a book.
Yep.
How has your book worked together with your podcast to grow your business?
Yeah, so I think it's more of just been a credibility thing, right? Been featured in these different places and have a best-selling book and, and have the podcast. Is all these things combined, I think, just adds a layer of credibility. Also helps with SEO, and, when people are searching, hey, what has this person done? In WhatsApp, or not WhatsApp, Chat GPT, or something like that, that pops up because it's something that's on Amazon. It's a big name company, right? It could be bought on Kindle and on Amazon. So those things have I think definitely helped tremendously, because it just helps me pop up in more places.
Yeah. That credibility is really important. So Shaheen, your business has been around 8 years, and most
Yep.
businesses fold way before that. Your podcast has been around for years. You've done 100 episodes there. Most podcasts fold, way earlier than that. What has
Yeah.
been your secret to have that longevity with your
Yeah.
podcast and with your business?
It's funny. So I lied earlier when I said I have had no coaching. So one guy that I knew had a podcast, it was a friend of mine. And I actually said, hey, do you mind if I get 30 minutes of your time when I started my podcast? And he's the one that suggested Riverside and get this microphone and things like that, right? Just very basic. But he told me a fun fact. He said most people quit before they reach 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And I ain't no quitter. You know what I mean? I'm like, that ain't gonna be me. That's not gonna be me. And it's not me, right? Like, I'm just not somebody that gives up. I am relentless. I do not give up, no matter what. I go at it. I could be down to my last dollar. You could put me in the jungle with no clothes, and I'm gonna come out there fully clothed with a chain on and good to go, right? I just don't give up, man. That's really, that's my secret sauce. No matter what, I figure out a way. There's always a way. The only person that can stop you from achieving something is you. Period. And I'm a firm believer in that. And I've gotten myself out of some dark times and some dark days. And life always is gonna life, right? No matter what, things are gonna
Love
always
that.
happen.
Life is
Right?
always gonna life.
Life is always gonna life. And I think if you're relentless and you just have that, never give up attitude, there's really nothing you can achieve, right? Like, there was plenty of times that I wanted to give up, and everything was telling me to give up, and my family was telling me to give up, and my friends were telling me to give up. Everybody, right? In the first few years in business, oh, this isn't right, or you shouldn't be this stressed out, or you're going to give yourself a heart attack, all the things, right, that entrepreneurs hear from the naysayers. And I just ignored it and kept my nose to the grind, and just kept grinding it out day in and day out. And yeah, man, it's just never give up, doing whatever it takes.
What you're talking about is called self-efficacy, or some people call it self-efficacy, right? To know you can do hard things, know you can figure out a way to get through hard
Yeah.
things. A lot of people, they look at suicide and they think that suicide is a direct result of depression. And there is some correlation, but there's
Right.
more correlation between low self-efficacy and suicide than there is between
100%.
depression and suicide. If one of the most important things that I want my daughters to learn, my son-in-law to learn, that could help instill with them is self-efficacy, to know they can do hard things. When hard times happen, when challenges come, you can get through it. You can figure it out.
100%. Yep. I agree with you 100%. I've had those dark days where, contemplating, suicide or whatever it may be. And that's what it is, right? You're like, I don't see a way out of this hole, right? And that's where those thoughts come from. It's not a depression thing. I'm sad, I'm whatever. It's, you don't see a way out and you're like, okay, give up, right? It's funny. That's actually when I started my company. I was at the lowest I'd ever been. And I'm like, I got to stay busy. I got to do something. What is my calling? What was I put on this earth to do? And I did it. And it was to climb out of that dark hole, right? I'm like, how do I get myself out of this hole? I need to stay busy. How can I stay busy? Start a business, right? Like,
and now your attention and your focus is on something positive instead of on the negative.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah, it saved my life.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Shaheen, if our audiences enjoyed this episode like I have, and they want to learn more about you and your services and your business and your show, what are the best ways for them to do that?
Yeah. So, versabusinesssystems.com has all the links to pretty much everything, our YouTube channel, our podcast, our blogs, our articles, our, social media pages, all of that. Simple Google Shaheen Mazloom or Versa Business Systems will pull all that stuff up too. Most of my social media is Versa Business Systems or Versa Business Tips. Or they can reach out to me personally, Shaheen Mazloom on LinkedIn or Facebook. And, I'd be happy to talk with anybody about anything. Really, I'm an open book.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being with us today. And thanks for all the value.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
And here are my key takeaways from this episode. Number one, start by inviting people you've already invested in learning from. They're more willing to reciprocate with their time and credibility. Number two, lead with helping people first instead of revenue targets. 8 years and 1,000 clients with 0 bad reviews prove it works. Number three, turn every guest into business opportunities through post-show calls. Explore referral partnerships and potential client relationships. Number four, repurpose each episode into 3 social clips and tag guests across all platforms to leverage their existing audiences. Number 5, most podcasters quit before episode 12. Relentless consistency and refusing to give up beats perfection every time. Number 6, learning from podcast guests delivers higher ROI than expensive courses. Implementation beats information consumption. Number 7, skip paid marketing initially. Organic growth through guest collaborations and tagging builds sustainable audiences faster. Number 8, monetize through sponsored episodes when guest requests flood in. Charge businesses seeking exposure while maintaining value standards. Number 9, get expert guidance instead of figuring everything out alone. Not investing in podcast coaching early is the biggest missed opportunity. And finally, number 10, focus on SEO visibility to make your show discoverable everywhere. If you're looking for a great all-in-one podcasting platform with 60 integrated podcasting tools, check out podup.com, where you can get a free 30-day trial before you ever have to buy. And we'll also give you a free podcast launch course to help you launch your podcast in just 1 month. And if you need a podcast, but you just don't have time, check out podallies.com. It's our done-for-you podcast production, marketing, and monetization agency. Thanks for joining us for this episode. I wish you success as you turn your passion into profit through podcasting.